You got dumped, and your ex has an avoidant attachment style, either a fearful one or a dismissive one. But either way, you went into no contact after getting dumped, which is exactly the right thing to do. But avoidants are notorious for taking a very long time before they even begin to circle back around to the idea of coming back to you. Maybe 6 months or more, and that's only if you play all of your cards right. But in this video, we're going to take a look at the 7 clear signs that your avoidant ex is warming up to the idea of coming back to you and really beginning to miss the connection they had with you. So let's talk about it. And before we get into that, I just want to clarify that a dismissive avoidant always keeps people at arm's length from an emotional intimacy standpoint because they fear emotional intimacy because they got burned by mom or dad when they were a young child, and they learned that the best way to keep themselves safe was to never let anybody in too close. The fearful avoidant is often that way too, but if they sense you pulling away, which is exactly what happens when you go no contact, then they switch to more of an anxious attachment style and they try and pull you back in. So if your ex has a fearful avoidant attachment style, chances are they will reach out sooner than if they have a dismissive one. Way number 1, social media activity. They are looking at your social media constantly, especially the fearful avoidant. The fearful avoidant may even be looking at your Facebook or Instagram stories, knowing that their name is going to show up on a list of people that you can see. And they may even be commenting or liking on things as well. The dismissive avoidant is less likely to be doing that, but you can bet they will be stalking your social media on a fairly regular basis. And in both cases, you may see content posted on their social media that directly relates to you in some way. Maybe pictures of places that the two of you had been or talked about going to. Maybe songs or memes or sayings that were important to the two of you. They may be using their social media as a subtle means of indirect communication with you. But don't take the bait. Stay in no contact until they reach out to you directly. Way number 2, indirect communication patterns. Even though you're in no contact and they haven't reached out directly, there might still be some subtle ways that they communicate. That could be commenting on your posts on social, or it could be random text check-ins, just something simple like, hey, I found your old t-shirt. Do you want to come by and pick it up? Or maybe happy birthday when it's your birthday, or happy holidays during the holiday season. But nothing overt, nothing direct, nothing that says, hey, I miss you, I want to see you. So when you get those kind of messages, I do want you to respond. I don't want you to ignore them. You want to keep the lines of communication open and ideally growing. So just heart them or like them, but don't feel the need to have a lengthy response. Way number 3, physical proximity seeking. They're accidentally showing up at places where they knew it was likely you might be hanging out. Remember, they know your routine, they know your schedule, they know the places you like to go to and on what days you often go there. So they'll be finding reasons to put themselves in your orbit. And when you do run into them at these places, they won't leave the moment they see you. They may not approach you directly, but they'll kind of make eye contact discreetly from across the room. And if that happens, do not rush over there and go to them. They dumped you. Remember, if they want to fix things, they've got to put forth some effort. So make them come to you. It's also worth pointing out that if you are still sharing locations with your ex on your phones, which many couples do, and we often forget to turn that off after a breakup, if you're still sharing your location with them, there's a very good chance, especially with the fearful avoidant, that they are stalking your location 24/7 and they know exactly where you are, and they will absolutely be showing up at places where they know you're already at. Way number 4, the information gathering. They're asking mutual friends about you, and especially the fearful avoidant, they'll be asking every mutual friend about you. They'll be keeping tabs on your life updates. They'll be asking questions like, are you dating anybody? Are you in a relationship yet? And they may also be remembering small details that you had mentioned to them while you were still together, like, oh yeah, I want to go see this show on such and such a date in the future. And they remember that, and maybe they even go to that same show hoping to run into you. Way number 5, nostalgic signs. Either on social media or through mutual friends, or maybe even via text message, they're going to be referencing shared memories that the two of you had. Or maybe you know how it does on Facebook, where it occasionally pops up your memory from a year ago and you have the option to post that. Maybe they're posting those kinds of memories on their social media and you happen to be part of that memory. They're mentioning places that the two of you used to go to. And maybe, especially with mutual friends, maybe they're reminiscing with the mutual friends about things that they had done with you, and they're bringing up positive aspects about you and how you impacted their life. And it's clear that their guard has come down, their fear years of you being smothering and controlling and needy have gone away, and now they're beginning to realize what they lost by dumping you. And even if you didn't see yourself as needy, smothering, or controlling, I can guarantee you that they did, especially if you have an anxious attachment style. That is the go-to pattern for avoidant. They see you that way, and those fears have to go away completely before they will even begin to miss you or the relationship. So that's why staying in no contact is so mission critical. If you occasionally check in, you're occasionally looking at their Instagram or Facebook stories, you're occasionally commenting on their social, then you are not giving them a chance to miss you, and you're reinforcing the idea that you're still a little needy. Way number 6, behavioral changes. They're working on the issues that they brought to the table that contributed to the demise of the relationship. That could be mental health things or it could be habits. But either way, they weren't working on those things while you were together, but they're obviously working on them now. And the key takeaway there is that they have recognized the importance of changing their behavior in those areas. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're making those changes for you. In fact, the healthy thing would be for them to make those changes for themselves, right? But either way, it's a really good sign if they are working on themselves now in areas that you were either critical of or areas that were detrimental to the relationship. And way number 7, third-party references. They may be sending messages through mutual friends. Now, as a general rule, I don't like the idea of using mutual friends as go-betweens. That can get very annoying for the mutual friends. But if you're hearing from your mutual friends messages that are being relayed by your ex, that's a really good sign. Just don't use the mutual friend as a reply back. And for that reason, I think it's important that you maintain a strong connection to your mutual friend group. They can be a great source of information in terms of what's going on with your ex and whether or not your ex is asking about you. But as I've mentioned, stay vigilant in your no contact until they reach out to you directly and indicate in some way, shape, or form that they miss you and want to see you. Then make a date with them at a specific time and place, ideally your place, and then make it happen. Remember, I do offer one-on-one coaching. That can be in the form of a Zoom session, a phone call, or you can simply email me your problem. I'll record a custom video just like this one and get it back to you within a couple of weekdays. If you want more info on that, it's down in the description or on this card right up here. But let me know your story about what's going on with you and your ex down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.